So, Halo Infinite, after some time being out fully, officially with the campaign and all, a review is finally here. I wanted to get around to making this a little bit earlier, but for time reasons, unfortunately I wasn't able to. I didn't have a time machine with me in order to control time to my very whim. Had I would have had this video done probably a week ago, but what matters is that we're here now. We're going to talk about some Infinite gaming experiences, infinite multiplayer microtransactions, which that's already being worked on, thankfully. But all in all, let's just get to talking about my experience with Infinite and how I feel about it, because there's good and there's also bad here. So let's talk about it. So first things first is that the campaign is going to be the main focus of this video. I'm going to bring up the multiplayer a little bit here and there, mainly towards the end, but let's just talk about campaign. So without getting into spoilers, because I know that there's many people who have yet to properly get to the campaign, who have yet to beat it. After having beaten it, and just talking about anything that isn't related to very major story details, I gotta say, all in all, right off the bat, I liked what I experienced. I had a good time with Infinite's campaign. I thought it was, all in all, a solid time from start to finish, but it wasn't without its issues. So, let's talk about the not story details, but some things having to do with it. When it comes to the plot and such of this game, it's solid. It's very Halo-esque. It's the most Halo has been since Reach, maybe even before that. And even then, there is still some post-Reach Halo there, because this game is the ultimate fan service of Halo. There is so much here, so much nostalgia, throwbacks and such, from not even just Halo 1 through 4, but every single Halo game to some extent at the very least. Whether it's the, without going into spoilers, one of the levels that really stood out to me and made me think, oh my god, this is so fucking Halo. The second mission in the campaign, that whole part of it was Halo 1, 2, and 3 with some 4 mixed in along with it. That entire part just screamed Halo. And a few others. There's also some Reach with the assault rifle, for example, ODST with the mini-map that you get, or the full map, whenever you open it up with tab on keyboard and mouse, or I assume the back button on controller. I played the whole thing with keyboard and mouse, so I can't be too certain going off experience, but that's what I assume it is, going off of previous games that have maps. When it comes to the levels themselves, they're very enjoyable. I definitely have a good time with them, but it isn't completely perfect, because, yes, as fun as it is to play through the world and to get through every single level, at times it becomes a bit repetitive, and not even in the way, say, Combat Evolved was, where it was literally just recycled levels, but you play through them backwards. No, in this game, yeah, all the Forerunner structures and such are cool, and it does really make it feel like that classic Halo experience more than ever, but it reaches a point where, yeah, as fun as it is in this game, you go through a lot of very similar areas, because, see, this game has one biome. It's all the Zeta Halo ring where you're just running on grassy fields with fucking daisies and rabbits running around who you proceed to run over and kill as you drive one place to the next with your warthog, or, I don't know, maybe your mongoose, maybe a wasp if you unlock that. There's quite a few ways to traverse around the world, which that's definitely appreciated, especially because they have fast travel in this campaign, which if they didn't, god, it'd be like Red Dead Redemption 2 all over again. But that's besides the point. As fun as this world is, as fun as the levels are, it does get a little stale at times, because there just isn't enough variety with the exploration in this game. Yeah, there's some cool things, like with the side missions, or side missions, whatever you want to call them, the side content, we'll refer to it as. You have the FOBs, you have the outposts, you have the little events going on where, say, you have small groups of banished roaming around the fields. You can save imprisoned Marines and unlock them to help them fight with you around the world, so long as they don't end up dying within 5 minutes of you having them with you. Speaking of them, I have a little complaint about that I want to mention real quick. Why can't the Marines drive vehicles in this game? Why can they not drive vehicles? Why do I have to be the one doing all the driving? What if sometimes I want to be the one on the machine gun on the turret while an AI is the one doing the driving for me? Also, why is it that only one Marine is allowed to ride with you on a Scorpion tank? In previous games, you could have a whole squad with you. Why is it only one this time? Small changes like that, I really am not a fan of. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal, but it is annoying because little things like that added to the experience, and without that, I think it takes away a lot of what made something as small as driving a vehicle or being in a vehicle that much more fun and enjoyable. And just going back to the whole biome and levels, again, as much as Zeta Halo is a very nice world to be in, as comfortable as it can be in at times, because I can't deny it's a very comforting looking place. It has a very nice aesthetic to it. The art style and everything just comes together brilliantly. I just wanted a bit more. I wanted some snow. I wanted some deserts. Just anything else that isn't just fucking grass and trees and forests. Just anything else. Yeah, there's some mountaintops with some ice in them, but even then, I don't think that's enough. Granted, it's a pretty big open world space where you have a lot of space to move around and run around and fuck about, but there just needed to be more because, yeah, it's a good open world. The whole open world aspect, I definitely don't mind it. It was an enjoyable experience and something that was fun to deal with, but at the same time, they could have done a lot more with it because aside from the little things that I mentioned, it just doesn't feel as complete as it should because a lot of the side content that I mentioned not too long ago in the video, that really is what it is. Although, there is small things which I just remembered, like unlocking Spartan cores, which allows you to upgrade Master Chief throughout the campaign as you play through it. Aside from that and armor lockers, there isn't enough here, I feel. Something I think would have been cool, for example, is, say you go to a banished outpost and you free a bunch of Marines. Imagine being able to send those Marines back to a certain base, and then once you have enough Marines saved up, and, you know, you have enough that haven't died as they go along with you on missions, imagine you can actually command also, like, a whole fucking army of Marines to come with you and take down an outpost. I think things like that would have been cool, but there isn't enough here. It just feels a little empty at times. It feels a little dead at times. And that's another little thing that I'm just now remembering. There just isn't enough wildlife, for example. All you have are rabbits, which, look, running over rabbits can only be fun for so long. I want to kill some other animals at the very least. PETA? Don't come after me, okay? I'm just simply stating what is fun for the video game. I don't actually kill animals, okay? I love animals. I love animals, but look. One of the most fun parts of Halo Reach were when those big Sesame Street, Big Bird motherfuckers in the campaign, or whatever they were, they jumped around and they tried killing you if you tried killing them. They were big-ass beasts, real chonky-like. My recording software stopped recording, but anyways, back to being on point with the video. All in all, I really like what they're doing with the campaign here. I think it's a solid experience, one that's worth experiencing, but there just needed to be more here because, look guys, fusion coils are fun to play around with. The whole sandbox here is fun, but it can only take it so far in terms of variety. Granted, I get what they're doing with the whole simplistic style of game here, because this really does feel like the modern-day comedy Evolved in terms of plot, for example, because there isn't too many characters here. It's very focused, it's very small, personal, and intimate, and it does feel like a truly, a true Master Chief story in every single sense of the word. This is a Halo Master Chief experience, and it does feel like the start of something more to come within the future. And considering how they're treating this game with it being viewed as a live service for the next 10 years, and considering how the campaign ended, no doubt we're going to get story expansions that explore even more of what has been established within Halo Infinite. Because without going into spoilers again, that legendary ending, yeah, it's safe to say some shit is about to unfold here whenever the next story bit comes. And hopefully we'll get some more biomes aside from just forests which you can shit in without anyone hearing a noise. Instead, I would prefer to run around in cold-ass Arctic climates freezing my balls off. I think that would be a lot of fun, and I look forward to that. And being in hot-ass deserts, Nathan Drake style, rummaging around without any equipment, attempting to find something to keep me alive inside. So, this is a good time to be had, and You know, at the end of the day, I'll take Infinite's 20 to 30 hour long campaign with some filler content, which, I mean, it's good, but ultimately, the open world isn't something that I'm in love with. It was fun, but hey, I'll take that over 200 to 300 hour long fucking open world games any day of the week. Because at least with this game, you can get through it in less than 50 hours, just going off of the main story missions alone, which, those of you who have been around long enough, I'm sure you have an idea of what games I'm talking about. I won't say their names, but you know. Anyways, so, all in all, I like the campaign, but it's definitely not my favorite. Solid experience, but one that could have done with more. One which should have had co-op at launch. But yeah, there you go. Fun campaign. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about the multiplayer, because I've already talked about it in the beta video that I did with 8-Bit Buggy. But I want to talk a little bit more about it again, because there's been some updates. Not too much to say, but I will say some things at the very least. So, when it comes to multiplayer, there's more than 5 playlists now. Halo 5 had like 6 at launch. We're now at 7, so that's an improvement. And before anyone uses the defense of, well, it's a free-to-play live service game, that's the problem. It's a free-to-play live service game, which no one asked for it to be like that. 343 Microsoft are the ones who came up with that, but even then, it's the newest AAA Halo experience in over 6 years. There should have been more at launch. And there's other problems even aside from that, such as the monetization, which I know they're talking about all that with updates, and they have been updating it, which, you know, it's good that they've been so responsive. Granted, the death threats are not the way to go about that, because that's fucking stupid. But it's good to see that 343 is definitely taking things into account. But to see so many 343 developers agreeing with the community on a lot of changes and a lot of decisions being bad, it really makes you wonder why the hell were so many of these decisions made in the first place. Was it just to gauge a reaction to see how the community would react? Were the business higher-ups thinking, nah, no one's gonna care about the monetization, no one's gonna cry about it? Granted, everyone did complain about codings over a year ago, back when the game was first announced as being free-to-play, and when the game was first announced to have armor coatings instead of primary and secondary colors. But you know what? People will be okay with it. What's that? People are okay with it? Well, guess we gotta make some changes. What was it, just to look better in the eyes of the community? What was the reason here? Was it just miscommunication? I feel like there was many reasons as to why. I can't know myself, but that's just some ideas that I have in terms of why so many changes, which I feel could have been easily avoidable, even though I'm not a game developer. But it's just, come on, guys. You really thought that the monetization system was going to be well received? Really? You really thought that? Come on. Come on. Come on. No, it wasn't. The whole thing was garbage from the start. Come on. It was trash. Come on. Don't play dumb. But yeah, aside from that, Infinite's multiplayer, just to go off of some of what I've said in previous videos, I enjoy it. It's a fun time. It's a good time to be had. And I definitely think it's worth taking some time to dabble into. Granted, there's so much work that needs to be done. But going off of what we do have, this is a solid start, and it's a good direction for the series to go into. I just wish that it didn't take so long to get to the next season. We're going to be here till May 2nd, from what I saw while playing the game last night. So hopefully Season 1 will have enough content to get us through it. But yeah, I think I'm just going to end it there. I think that's a good stopping point for the review. All in all, I enjoy my time with Infinite. I'm going to probably continue playing it going forward in the future. What do you guys think of Infinite? Have you taken the time to play it a substantial amount? Did you play the campaign, multiplayer? Leave your thoughts on all that in the comment section below. And let's discuss the game a little bit, why don't we? That's what the comment section is for, right? Unless you're a bot spamming links to download viruses. Also, we could complain about the dislike bar and how it's gone. Granted, we have extensions on Chrome to fix that. Well, by fix that I mean use as a temporary band-aid until YouTube updates that shit the fuck out of the browser. But that's gonna be it. I hope you all enjoyed this review, and I'll see you all next time. But until then, I'm out. Later.